The Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time we have the Marvel Legends Captain America review / comparison. This time it's going to be Captain America from the single card Giant Man Build-A-Figure wave, as well as the Captain America that came in the 3-pack Civil War 3-pack that included Spider-Man and Iron Man as well. So I have done a review similar to this with the Iron Man Mark 46. I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to post first though, so that video might be up, and if it's not up, it should be up pretty soon. And in that video I talked about the 3-pack Iron Man and the single card Iron Man. Same thing I'm going to do here because they're essentially the same figure, just repaints. And then I will be also talking about the Steve Rogers head sculpt, which we've seen before, I believe. However, it is something that we haven't seen in a little bit, so it is nice to see again. So let's get talking about it. So, of course, these are the same exact figures. Just one has some battle damage paint on it. That's basically the difference between these two. So it made sense to review them together, just like the Iron Man did. So let's go get over it. Let's start off with the regular version. As you can see, it's quite nice. I mean, this is a repaint. So even the regular one is just a repaint of the what was it? The Age of Ultron version, which you just saw there with that new head on it. But I'll go over that near the end. But so it is just a repaint. But going over it actually just as the figure itself, the figure is really nice. It is. It has some excellent detail throughout all of the blue detail. There's a bunch of texture there, looking really cool. It really does look like a really nice kind of a material. And then the wrinkling is sculpted very nicely. The boots look good. You know, it has a really good sculpt to it. It really is. It's a good figure. The head sculpt itself, I think, is quite decent as well. The mask looks nice, although you do have a bit of a skin color, you know, kind of paint that's been splotched up on it on the cheek to the left there, which doesn't look great. I do like his serious, intense look. The A is painted very nicely, and it does look quite good. The paint in general, I like the colors of it. The difference between this one and the Age of Ultron one is the color scheme, with this as being a much darker blue, which does look very nice. As you can see, the Age of Ultron one was a much brighter blue. I think that the darker blue just looks a lot better and is very nice. It's kind of in between this version and the stealth version, basically. Kind of has that stealth version type of paint, but it's obviously the same suit as the Age of Ultron one. But it does look quite good indeed. Going over articulation is quite good. He's got a ball hinge neck, which can look up quite far. Can also look down quite far. Ball hinge shoulders with the bicep swivel, double hinge elbows, hinge swivel wrist, ab crunch, which goes down just kind of one click and goes back just about one click as well. He has a swivel at the waist, ball jointed thighs, which move quite nicely. As you can see, they go out a bit, but they go forward very far. Swivel at the thigh, double hinge knees, swivel at the calf area, at the boot, and then a hinge pivoting ankle. The pivot works quite well. So the articulation on this guy is very standard Marvel Legends. However, Marvel Legends standard is quite good, so I do like that quite a bit. The differences between these two is the paint. So obviously that's the regular version that came in the Giant Wave Build-A-Figure series. This is the version that comes in the 3-pack. It still has a darker blue than the Age of Ultron one, of course. However, it is slightly lighter than the blue of the regular version of the Civil War, which I actually kind of like. I think that this is the perfect color to represent... Sorry, that Captain America just fell. This is the perfect color to represent Captain America from the movie. It's not super bright like that other one, but it's not super dark like that one. So I do like the color scheme on this one the best, probably. The other big paint differences are the battle damage, which is quite cool. He has dirt on his face, on the helmet, which does look a bit off, you know, just because it's like on one side. It looks a little strange while it's on the face. It's not bad, but it is just a bit odd looking. The chest, however, looks really nice, and he's got some great dirt, especially in the white there, which obviously it would be the most noticeable, you know, in real life. He has some dirt on his knees as well that go up a bit on the actual thighs, which is quite nice. My big problem with Iron Man is that with his battle damage, it really didn't like fully commit. You know, he had it on the side of his face, on his shoulder, and then on one of his thighs. This Captain America, he has it a bit more spread out. He has it, you know, on half of his face, his entire torso, and then his knees, both knees, and a bit of the thigh. So he does have battle damage that is kind of spread about, which is quite good. And I do like that quite a bit. Also, his accessory is a shield. Same shield as this one, as you can see. Same thing. It does just fit on due to 2 straps there. Pretty easy fit. His, though, is actually all battle damage. I really love the battle damage on the shield. I think it looks spectacular. It has burn marks on it, which look great. And then the scraping is done really well. It looks very natural, very realistic, and it's done perfect. You know, it looks sloppy, but in a realistic way. You know, it doesn't look like it's sloppy because Hasbro wasn't putting in the effort or anything like that. It really actually looks wonderful. So I absolutely love this shield. As far as accessories, what you get with him, you don't get much. You get the shield, and that's all you get for the Giant Man Build-A-Figure wave. And then for the 3-pack, you get 1 extra accessory, and that's this Captain America Steve Rogers head sculpt. This head sculpt we have seen before, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it came with a couple Captain America figures. I think with the stealth version, or possibly even with the Age of Ultron one. I can't remember, but I feel like we've had several unmasked Captain America head sculpts in the past, and I believe this is the exact same sculpt, just with some slightly different paint. The sculpt itself, I mean, it looks good as far as it looks like a real person and everything. It actually, you know, and I like the expression. It's very stern, and the eyes are painted really nicely, and the hair is painted really nicely. It doesn't scream Captain America Steve Rogers. It doesn't look like Chris Evans very much. From some angles you can kind of see it, but from others you really can't. I think that the Tony Stark head sculpt is a better representation of that character than this one, than this Steve Rogers one is of Steve Rogers. So that is a bit disappointing. Nothing too special, and of course it's just a reused accessory. But luckily, you know, because we have so many freaking versions of this costume, at least with an extra head sculpt, you know, you can do things to make them look slightly different. Because we just have so many. At the moment, we have 3 repaints of the same costume, and then the stealth version one is a retool of this. So it has a lot of the same parts too. So we just have so many different versions of the same Captain America. It can get quite boring, which is definitely a shame. Overall, I'd say if you don't, by some miracle, you don't already have this costume, for the single pack, I'd recommend it only if you're going to build Giant Man. If you already have the one from the single pack and you're thinking about getting that 3-pack for Spider-Man, basically, I love the shield. I mean, the shield is painted really nicely, but the figure itself just isn't different enough. There's just, the Iron Man one, he came with a lot of different accessories, which really helped him. But this one really doesn't come with anything too special or new, so you really don't get, you're really not getting anything new with this figure other than some slightly new paint and an awesome shield. Other than that, though, you really, it's basically just the same exact thing. With the Iron Man one, it really felt like a different figure, and not to mention, we've only had 2 versions of that Iron Man figure, so not 3 or 3.5 if you count the stealth version of Captain America. So overall, it's a nice figure. Just, if you only have one copy of it, it's great, but there's a good chance that you probably have multiple versions of this Captain America costume, which is definitely quite a shame. So there you go, that's my review of the Marvel Legends Captain America Civil War single-carded Giant Man Wave Captain America, and then the 3-pack, Civil War 3-pack of the Captain America again. So there you go, let me know what you guys think of this figure, and thanks so much for watching.